Can we have a quick little chat, a quick little exchange about about these guys right here? Hi, my name is Cuddlewatt. And can we start being honest about the Build-A-Bear collabs? Like, specifically the Sanrio ones. Can we start being honest with ourselves as consumers and as collectors? Hi, welcome back to the series where I talk about whatever's on my mind today. Because I have a big mouth, I like to yap about things with no particular end goal other than to start discussion. And in today's installment, we're going to be talking about Build-A-Bear. Yes, the company, the little store that you used to go to in the mall that your parents would take you to, where you make your own stuffed animal, give it a name, and it's your best furry friend for life, right? We're going to be talking about that today and why I think in recent years, their collaborations, specifically with like Sanrio and like Hello Kitty and everything like that, I feel like it's getting a little bit overdone. I feel like it's overplayed and I'm starting to get annoyed, similar to how I was when I was a kid, which is funny enough to me, but we're going to talk about that today. But before we get into that, because it's 2026 and you can't really state your opinion without giving a few disclaimers on what you are talking about and what you aren't. Listen, Linda, if you like any of the collaborations I have mentioned in this video and you're just like, oh my gosh, Cuddlewatt, how do you not enjoy, the chiffon drop and stuff like that? Like, I don't understand why you don't like it. And I bought this product and I'm actually very happy with it and yada, yada, rada, rada. Girl, put down the keyboard. It's okay, okay? Our opinions can coexist. But if you want a video agreeing with you, maybe go watch something else not called Let's Rant. But, that's just me. That's just my opinion, That's just me telling you how it is and telling it like it is. The second point of making this video is not to be like a critique on like capitalism and overconsumption and whatnot, similar to my Hello Kitty overconsumption kind of video. It's not meant to like tell anybody what they should buy and what they shouldn't buy. It's just meant to vent my own frustrations. And at the end of the day, I collect this stuff, right? I am a collector of a lot of things. I love Build-A-Bear, specifically my Sanrio ones. They have a lot of sentimental value to me. And I feel like I have just the tiniest bit of complaints with what's been going on for the past couple of years. And I think it's okay to talk about it and complain and be more mindful about maybe what I'm buying or what you're buying, or like, just be mindful, be demure, be mindful. But with that being said and those disclosures out of the way, let's get to complaining. So a little bit of background about me, if you don't know. I've been collecting Build-A-Bears literally since I was a kid. Like, one of my first Build-A-Bears was my plushie Fluffy. She was a poodle, and it wasn't any type of collaboration or anything. This was just a straight Build-A-Bear plushie, and I love her to death, and I still have her. Like, Build-A-Bear has played like such a crazy role, and I think me collecting like really cute things and just plushies in general, I've always been a lover of plushies, but Build-A-Bear, that was my Shayla, that was my girl back in the day. Like, I would get the little catalog, circle what I want and everything. And I think back then Build-A-Bear was primarily just making original bears, like, like a cute little monkey or like a little puppy dog or like a rabbit. Like, it focused more on making original bears rather than collaborations. And then later down the line, that's when it kind of started happening. So around when I was a kid, it was original bears for a little bit. And then you started seeing the collaborations. Like, they had one with like Baskin Robbins at one point. And, they had one with, I think it was like DQ, I think Dairy Queen. Like, it was a fun time seeing those collabs. Like, don't get me wrong. I think part of what made the collabs special was getting that pamphlet in the mail as a kid and like seeing what you could get, like what was in store at the time and things of that nature. And I think it was kind of a part of like an element of surprise, like, going into Build-A-Bear and maybe not knowing what you're gonna get in particular. Like, I feel like that's kind of nice. And I thought for a while that the collaborations were just like a nice little sprinkle and surprise. It wasn't like the overall business model, which I feel like is what it is right now. And here's the thing, I don't want to make it seem like collabs were this like ultra rare occurrence. Like, again, like I said, you would either go in stores and like have a little element of surprise and see that the collaboration was happening, or you'd get the pamphlet in the mail and you would know what's going on. But it felt like a little bit back then that the collaborations were more intentional, and it, again, more of like a element of surprise or kind of like a one-time thing, a limited kind of thing. And while I don't agree with the method of like, dropping something in particular just for the sake of dropping it, like in a limited, like limiting the quantities and stuff like that, so only a certain amount of people can get them, and then after that, so like sold out, and then all of a sudden the resale value goes up. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, you know, what normal limited collabs used to be, like a limited time only thing, which was they release a product and they release a good amount for a while, or a short period of time, let's say like a month or two, or like 3 months in. Like I remember collabs like that where it was, they kept up with stock and quantity, and they still planned on having it for a limited amount of time until the cutoff date for this certain month. That's what I remember. And I think I remember most Build-A-Bear collabs lasting around like 3 months and such, you know, or maybe like a month or so, like something around there. It was a good bit. It was a good bit of time that you had to go and get the collab if you wanted it. And I remember like sitting with my mom sometimes, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I want this collab so bad. Like the Baskin Robbins one, I didn't get to get it in time. I was so upset. And like, you know, the month would pass, and then eventually like you go there and they don't have them anymore. Like it would suck, but they still had like quantities, right? They still had enough to service the people that were going to get it at the time. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Sanrio collabing with Build-A-Bear is not a new occurrence, actually. It happened way back in 2006, and I remember it like it was yesterday, okay? I saw that commercial, and I saw my girl Kitty, and I was like, yeah! Like, I needed to have it. Like, I was so excited. And they released, I believe it was a plain version of Hello Kitty at first, and then I think maybe like a few months later, and I think they released the tan version of Hello Kitty, and it was so adorable. Oh my gosh. But I only ended up getting my original, like just your regular Hello Kitty. I never got the tan version because I was like, I didn't know at the time that like a tan version of Hello Kitty was pretty popular actually, and a lot of people liked it and thought she was cute. I was just kind of like, why do I need a second one? Like, what is it adding to my life? But I thought it was, now I guess my opinion has changed on it. I love myself a brown kitty. We love a melanated kitty, okay? What? Anyway, sorry. And I didn't complain about it too much because she was at least given like some type of like beachy attire and everything like that. Like, it made it stand out a little bit from your just original regular Hello Kitty, which I think is fine. Like, you know, I don't see like, here's the thing, I'm not against releasing a ton of multiples for like different characters and stuff like that, because clearly like you get Hello Kitty merch, and Hello Kitty merch comes in all shapes and sizes. Like, I'm not initially against the idea of creating different versions, okay? But then it gets to a point. So fast forward a little bit, they're releasing the white and brown Hello Kitty on and off, you know, like I think it was between 2006 and, sorry, looking at a picture of a timeline, I'll throw it up on screen. Between 2006 and 2010, they were like releasing it on and off, just different, I guess, like upgraded versions of just your regular Hello Kitty and your tan Hello Kitty, which I think is fine. Again, I wasn't annoyed with the whole like, again, like limited time, again, because you had the amount like you needed for the customer base. Like, it was going to be fulfilled. Nobody was like flocking at the shelves and all of a sudden like on day one and all of a sudden no more printouts and stuff like that. Like, it was actually limited time, right? A span of time. Then came this special day where Sanrio decided, okay, it's our 50th anniversary. How are we going to celebrate? And they decided to do a collab with Build-A-Bear again, but this time it's not just Hello Kitty. No, it's Hello Kitty and Friends. Well, before it became another IP, not Hello Kitty and Friends. It was just Sanrio 50th anniversary collab. That's basically what it was called. And it included My Melody, Choco Cat, Karopi, and the one and only Kitty, right? And honestly, I felt like this collab was like super duper cute. Like, I was, again, when I saw that in the mag as a kid, I was so excited. I remember the commercial like it was yesterday. Hopefully I can play it and I don't get copyrighted. The clothes are cute and obviously themed after all the characters and everything. And then if you actually purchased, I remember if you purchased one of these, you know, one of these plushies or whatever, specifically for the Sanrio collaboration, you would get, I believe it was like a complimentary like keychain, and it was so cute. I'll see if I can like pull up a picture and I'm gonna put it on screen, but it's like it was super cute, and it included all mini versions of the big characters, obviously, and then it had Deary Lou as one, and I was like, you get a tiny bad keychain clip if you buy one of these plushies. And I just loved it. I loved it so much. I had a Choco Cat one, actually. It made me super duper happy. Like, I was in love with that thing, and I wish I still had him today because it's, sorry, I'm having a little bit of, flashback of looking at eBay and Mercari, but the resale market is not good. Scalper market's terrible. But I remember having one. Oh my gosh, I loved it. And at the time, I wasn't like gung-ho on getting Keroppi and Choco Cat. Again, I like Choco Cat, and the only reason I got introduced to him was because I had that keychain, and I was completely comfortable and fine with just having the keychain. I didn't need the whole big plushie. But the plushie I did want was Miss My Melody, which I still have to this day. She's in that little corner. But I got it as a Christmas gift from my aunt because I didn't get to Build-A-Bear on time during the collab. And I remember that Christmas I was asking for her, and I went to her house and she handed me the box, and My Melody was just dressed up in her little pajamas like in the stock photos, and I was like, ah! I loved her so much. She's so cute, and I still love her to this day. And I'll show y'all. It's my girl. She's naked. She naked, of course, but that's okay. I mean, My Melody's naked anyway. But this is my girl. I forgot. I think I took off her PJs a while ago. I wish I knew where they were. It was super cute, and I think it had a picture of her in flat on it, and it was adorable. I loved them so much. But this is her, and one thing I really do like about old Build-A-Bears, and I'm very much missing, is just the quality in general. And I feel like there was care put into these collaborations. Maybe not Keroppi. Keroppi's face wasn't that accurate, but for Melody, I felt like they did a really good job. Obviously, she's a little worn out due to time, and I'm sure she looked a little bit more stuffed when I first got her. I'm very sure she was, but I liked how they followed the body archetype here. So I feel like her body, I feel like it's like cartoonishly accurate. Like, I'll put a picture up of Melody right here. Like, I feel like this is accurate to literally how she looks in the official art. Like, the shape of her head, the bow, like, even like the little like flap right here. Like, I feel like it's just so much more accurate, and the body shape definitely fits her. Like, for Hello Kitty, they gave her, I think, a little bit more of like a bulkier body, because Hello Kitty she's a little chunk, right? She's like chunky on the feet and everything like that. And so is My Melody, but she's skinny up on the legs, right? Hello Kitty's not. So Hello Kitty's legs are more stubby. I liked how they gave her like, they like, it's like wide here, and then you go up, and it fits her. Like, I feel like this is cartoonishly accurate. That's what I'm trying to say. Other thing I also like to mention, and I can't prove this theory, right? But I think that the material is a lot nicer and a lot softer with older Build-A-Bears. I can't prove this theory. Where's that one meme? I can't prove it, but I know it's there, right? I feel like the quality is just, it's a lot softer. It feels like a plushie. Like, I can hold her, and she feel comfortable to lay on and everything. Like, I don't know if they're using a different kind of material to make their stuff now, but the Build-A-Bears are starting to feel a lot rougher, and I'm not liking that, okay? Because My Melody back in the day, she wasn't rough, right? And she don't got the little whatchamacallit paw thing to label that it's Build-A-Bear. I'm so happy that she didn't have that, and I missed like the little tag. As you can see, it's like super faded. Oh my gosh, like very faded, but like, that was love. This was love, and she's on her bum, so you don't even see it. Like, I don't know. I just, that's a minuscule complaint of mine, but I digress. While I can't attest to every single plushie's quality during that time, I definitely felt like My Melody was a steal, and she looked accurate, and she looked great. Keroppi, looking back, I might have imagined a more handsomer looking Keroppi, like my son. I imagine him looking better. But looking back at the photos, I'm like, ugh, he's a little rough looking, but I still feel like he has a little bit of personality, even if he wasn't extremely accurate and whatnot. And I feel like it depends, because some people prefer the recent Keroppi over the old Keroppi, and other people prefer the old Keroppi over the recent Keroppi. So I feel like it depends. That's debatable. I don't know, but I feel like I would think the older Keroppi has a little bit better quality. At least that's my opinion. So that collaboration ran its course, and then they were just back to releasing different versions of Hello Kitty, and not just white and tan Hello Kitty anymore. I think tan Hello Kitty got retired. Now it's just different colors that don't exactly exist in the Sanrio universe. just because, you know, you got an orange Hello Kitty, now you got a purple Hello Kitty for Easter, now you got a Valentine's Day Hello Kitty, which I did have the purple one and I did have the Valentine's Day one, the red one. They're cute. I got them as gifts though, and I didn't go out of my way, at least as a kid, to go out and get them. Why? Because it's not doing anything for me. And that's like, I feel like even feeling that way as a kid has to mean something. I don't know if any other person felt that way during that time, but at least for me as a kid, I feel like that's saying something, where I was just like, you know, what is the point of getting an orange Hello Kitty on Halloween? She's not adding anything. And again, she has different clothes, but I'm just kind of like, most of the stock photos, Kitty is not orange. Like, it's just like, it's starting to give a little bit of just put it out for the season just to make an extra few bucks, right? A little bit of a I don't want to call crazy cash grab, but like, you know, I guess like capitalism or business ventures or whatever. But they start releasing more variations of Hello Kitty, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not really interested in it because, again, what is it adding to my life? They had pink Hello Kitty at one point too, and then eventually you go all the way to, I believe it was 2012. And then they released a different Sanrio character, one that is not very well known, I believe, and that is Rebecca Bonbon. I've never heard of a Rebecca Bonbon before, but and I don't remember, and I'm not gonna try to gaslight myself to remember if I remember seeing her as a kid, but she looked interesting. She looked familiar, but not familiar. So I'm not gonna claim that, but I don't know. I think I would kind of get Rebecca Bonbon now. She's kind of cute, and I think she's cheap on the market. I think around like 40 something bucks compared to like other crazy Sanrio prices. I've seen some people release it for 20. It just depends, but I think she's alright. I don't see nothing wrong with the dog or anything like that. I just don't think she was very well known, and I don't think that it's sold like insane numbers, but I can't prove that. I don't really know too many people who know who Rebecca Bonbon is, that cute little French bulldog. I don't know too much about it, but what I'm venturing to guess is during this time, Sanrio got or Build-A-Bear anyway, got pretty confident with the fact that people liked that one specific drop for Sanrio characters, and they were like, oh, we could take advantage of this market. Like, let's, we could make some money off this. So let's put more obscure characters from Sanrio. So then they did Rebecca Bonbon, and I don't think Rebecca Bonbon did great. So moving forward, then you get the gingerbread Hello Kitty, and again, more different tie-dye, pink leopard print, whatever versions of Hello Kitty, because you need 500 different versions and renditions of Hello Kitty, even when it don't mean nothing. Like, as a kid, just seeing it, I was just kind of like, I'm not really feeling it for real. Like, I don't need it. It's not adding anything new to my life, and I couldn't explain why, and I still can't explain why to this day, other than like overconsumption, and then like also just trying to take advantage of the customer base being like super excited and pumped over Sanrio things. So that's, I believe, why they were releasing so many different colors of Hello Kitty. And I think over time, Kitty started changing her shape too. Like, have y'all seen the 50th anniversary looking Kitty? That looked terrible. And then they got her neck all tweaked out. Like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling any of that. But eventually, I'm assuming not many people were getting a lot of these Hello Kitties. That's what I'm assuming, because I think they faded out into obscurity a little bit. And then Cinnamon Roll was the first Build-A-Bear in 13 years that was not Hello Kitty and was part of the mainline Sanrio group of her friends. And people loved it. I mean, like, it sold out like its first wave. And I think that's one thing that I started to notice is, like, again, back in the day, most of these Sanrio collabs were available. I don't think a lot of people were going out of their way to buy up a bunch of them and stuff like that. I didn't catch the first wave of him. I caught the second wave of him, and I thought it was cute. They gave him like a little napper to like sleep in, or like to have on his body, and I thought it was cute. I thought that Cinnamon Roll was, again, very cute drop and everything like that, but limited in quantity. And I don't think Build-A-Bear expected how much people would buy it, and then people started reselling it and everything. But then I think once they realized, oh, people bought this up, even though this is supposed to be a limited time deal, again, like have it for a certain amount of time and then leave it. They were like, oh, market? Take advantage. So then they just start releasing Cinnamoroll in just like small little batches of drops and talking about restocks. And that started to annoy me. I was like, oh, like back in the day when you guys did Sanrio collaborations, it was just for a limit. Like you guys had enough to service people, mind you. Nobody was like waiting in line or in a kiosk or a line for this stuff. We could go in the store, get it, not fight off a scalper, not punch a baby in the face for it. Like it was fine. And all of a sudden, like, it's just not that. Now it's just dropping in small little batches, which is starting to be the more annoying parts about getting Build-A-Bear plushies in recent years. I don't think it's lost on me. I understand that Cinnamoroll is literally one of the most popular Sanrio characters. I mean, there's a reason he won, like, several years in a row, like, most beloved Sanrio character or, like, fan favorite. Like, I get it, right? But I do not believe that Build-A-Bear didn't know what they were doing once they saw it sell out for like the first time, and they're like, oh, and then they decided rather than like go for their original market of have enough again quantity for the customers and to handle that and everything like that, because now they know that it's in demand, right? It's not like they didn't know. Rather than like have the quantity and only release it for like a limited amount of time, like within stores and like online, so much so that it's not selling out every 10 seconds. Now they're going for the whole, oh, we'll just release it in small batches, which again is now the beginner problem. And then also having the scalper market now be a thing for certain Build-A-Bears, which I'm not going to say it didn't exist before, but if we're talking about Sanrio Build-A-Bears, those were available back in the day before it was Cinnamoroll. So let me just say that. Let me just get that out the way. But another problem that I started noticing was advertising, right? I think I'm going to throw up a picture of what he looks like. I think that Cinnamoroll looked really cute, real nice, real like sweet and everything. And I thought he looked accurate to what his proportions were supposed to be. I mean, he's a chunky puppy. Like he looks very cute, and I thought his neckline was fine. I thought everything looked pretty accurate about him or what he was supposed to be. Kind of wish they made the tail a little bit more 3D and puffy-ish a little bit, like, you know, like have like a little actual tail like sway side to side or something like they did with like my Melody. But you can't get everything you wish for. But then I get him in the mail and he looked like this. Now initially you might be like, oh no, that's fine, like he look good, like I don't understand what the issue is. For me, it's literally like, again, like I think that over time the quality of like the bodies that they were giving like some of these Build-A-Bears just like kind of went kaput. Like they stopped taking into consideration what character they're actually trying to emulate here, and they just started giving them all like a universal body, which I do not like. I feel like if you're going to do a collaboration, you should take the time to make it look as accurate as you possibly can. Not give it a universal body, slap the character on there and be like, nah, give me $32. Like, I'm just saying, like, and the issue I kind of have with Cinnamoroll is, yes, he's chunky, he's fine, but his arms are like a little long, and Cinnamoroll is a pretty stubby looking puppy, right? Like a long-eared white puppy. And his legs are pretty long for Cinnamoroll. Like, I don't know. I thought in the ad, his legs looked a little bit shorter. And then compared to like his, you know, his little crotches, I think it's a little bit less like Melody, how she kind of looks. Like, it just looks natural for her. Like, it looks accurate to the actual like the actual art that you see on the website. But with Cinnamoroll, it's just not giving. And also, he's a lot more hard. He's a lot more hard. I know some people prefer their plushies hard. I know that's a whole thing, whatever. But like, I don't know. I'm just not very inclined to like snuggle with him because he's a little too hard for me. A little bit too hard. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, again, could be a pre-stuffing issue, whatever. But like, I don't know. I feel like over time, they just got a little bit less cuddly and a lot more, if you get what I mean. And then come over here and we look at his neckline. His neck is pretty like, you know, like smushed in or whatever when you look at the advertising and the character in general. He got a little bit of a chinny chin chin right here. Like, okay, crimson chin. Like, he's like a little bit like raised up here, which I'm not understanding too tough, right? I'm not the biggest fan of that. I wish they kind of stuffed the ears more so they could stand up rather than flop back, right? I feel like they could have put more stuffing here for it to, like, you know, like, why is he like flop back? Like, now he looks like a rabbit and he's supposed to be a dog. I know most people know he's not a rabbit, but you know, like, I don't know. I feel like they could have done a better job with that, the neckline. And then people might get on me for this, but hear me out. I don't think his mouth is accurate. I think his mouth is just a tad bit too high, and his eyes are a little bit too close together. But that's just me. So I'm starting to see the little bit of manufacturing quality kind of going around, and I'm not really feeling it too tough. I was a little bit disappointed when I opened him. After Cinnamoroll takes his course and people kind of slow down with buying that, people are all of a sudden asking for a re-release of My Melody from years ago, because now the reseller market and scalper market for these old plushies is just like, it's impossible to find now. So everybody's starting to ask for certain Sanrio characters, which obviously plays into, like, there's obviously a demand for this, and Build-A-Bear is going to meet this demand. So then people start talking about Kuromi, and then they release Kuromi, and again, the advertising looked fine and everything like that. But then comes the day that you get the bear itself, and I got this wave 1, and I don't know if it's changed since then, but why does she have a default bot? Like, it just looks, she looks so stuffy, like it's just not, and it doesn't look like accurate to the cartoon anymore, or even accurate to the advertising, because why is her head round, right? Like, why is her head round in the advertising, and then she comes out looking like an oval? Like, her head is like an oval, like, you just want to like squish it in. It just doesn't look accurate anymore. And then on top of that, again, them not filling in the ear parts or like giving it any type of fluff or stuffing of any kind so it can stay up. So eventually it will get flat, right? So I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit irritated about this, because again, super stuffy, super hard, doesn't exactly resemble like anything like it did maybe like My Melody's body type back when it was 2010. Like, it just feels a little bit cheap, a little bit unlovable. I don't know, like, that's just me though. And then eventually they come out with My Melody, and I'll throw it up on screen. Got our wave 1, and this is when I started noticing a running pattern. Not only do these guys have the same body type, right? They made My Melody chunkier and bigger. And listen, there ain't nothing wrong with it. Look, ain't nothing wrong with nothing big. But when we were talking about accuracy, this is not it. And when people were asking for them to re-release the one that they did back in 2010, I'm pretty sure they meant everything related to her being released back in 2010. Like, not a new, like, stuffy, like, but like, she just looks so, like, she feels hard. She doesn't even feel like lovable anymore or anything like that. Like, it's just, it's hard. It's not like, it's not giving. And then on top of that, her head shape is again ovalish now. They've cut her head like so far down to the point where it just doesn't look cartoonish anymore, and it doesn't look like an accurate representation of the character, because you're just giving them this default body that's like super hard and like, again, unlovable. And then none of these ears are like big or like kind of, again, cartoonish to what the advertisements looked like. Like, it's making me a little bit upset. And if I may do a comparison, another complaint, the quality, this one is not as soft as this one is, which is again another annoyance. Her bow is super small compared to her. The body type, the body types are just not accurate. Again, giving a standard Build-A-Bear body to a cartoon, like, you know, I feel like you could be a little bit more accurate. I feel like you could be a little bit more on par, and you could argue that the hood is a little bit more accurate because it's covering more of Melody's face, which I'll give you. But what is all this head? What is all this for? And what is all this head? It's not, I personally prefer this design. Again, personal opinion, but again, a lot more softer, a lot more cuddlier. The other just looks big. Even the ears just don't, like the flipped over ear. You can't even tell that ear is flipped over. What is that? You can tell this one's flipped over. What is this other one? A worm? Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. I feel like this one is a lot better quality compared to this one. And I was I was pretty disappointed when I was looking at this melody. And I remember telling my partner, I was like, yeah, this is just so like hard. Like, and it's been like a couple years since I got this now. Like, you would think that she's loosened up a bit. No, she's stiff as a mug. She's stiffer than me. Dang. Well, Counterwall, why didn't you give up? One, I like Sanrio. Okay. I'm not above anything. I was for the Sanrio hype at the time, but this was kind of, again, just things I noticed as I kept getting these bears, and I was like, ooh, these are just a little bit chunky looking, and I'm not feeling it. It's not really accurate to the character anymore, which, again, to each his own, but I'm not feeling it anymore personally. So then they released a purple version of Kuromi, which I like purple Kuromi. Okay, that's a little bit of my bias, so that's one of the variations I was, again, willing to accept, just like how I was willing to accept tan Hello Kitty. It exists in the universe, right? Obviously, you can see I like purple Kuromi. So they released her, and again, the head looks accurate and everything. And this one I was actually surprised by. This one is a little bit more accurate. They did a better job of manufacturing. I don't know if anything was taken into account. Again, still thin ears. Still wish they would like pump up these ears a little bit, but otherwise her head is a lot better than, and her body is a lot less like stiff and chunky and just default body type for whatever reason. Like, you know, I think this one is a lot more accurate to her proportions than this one. So, because her head is all like, why is it an oval? Like, that made me angry. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I think of it, it's making me mad. Like, but again, her napper is very cute. I felt like this one is a lot more accurate, and I liked her more. So this made me kind of think, okay, maybe they're taking it into account. Maybe they're starting to notice that the manufacturing could be a little bit better with these things. Until we get to Pom Pom Purin. That I felt like was a slight at me and every Pom Pom Purin lover out there. And y'all who bought it, I mean, I guess you're a real Pom 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 lover because I guess you're a real Pom Pom lover because you don't care about that at all and you just get it anyway. But like me, honey, I was off put and I didn't get him. So then I think instead of like just straight up saying that they're going to like release certain characters or whatever, I think they might have did a sneak peek for My Melody. I don't remember if they did it for Kuromi. They might have. I don't remember. Maybe they started doing sneak peeks after Cinema Roll. I will correct myself if I'm wrong. But this is the one that I really remember was the sneak peek for Pom Pom Purin. And I was excited, like, because, like, again, they're releasing all of these Sanrio characters, and I love Sanrio. Like, again, my biases are for Kuromi and My Melody. However, I will indulge. I love my children. I love all the children in the spectrum, okay? Like, I indulge in them. I like them. So I'm not against, like, entirely getting, like, one thing of merch for them once in a while. And that includes a plushie. So, and it's Build-A-Bear. Like, I was so excited to see what Pom Pom Purin was going to look like. But I had a little bit of a worry, and I can't explain what this worry was. So they give the sneak peek, and I was like, with the two other Build-A-Bears that I have gotten that have had a really stuffy, hard body, and they've been giving them that default Build-A-Bear, like Sanrio-specific Build-A-Bear build, and not taking into consideration their actual anatomy according to, like, official artwork and everything like that. Like, I just had a thought. I was like, what if they release Pom Pom and he's not chunky like he is cartoon wise? They give him a neck and they make him skinnier. And the whole thing about Pom Pom Purin is he's fat. And this would have been his time to shine, okay? This would have been their time to shine, to give him a big body, like a big busty body. Like they did for Kuromi and My Melody with these new releases. Like, that would have been the time to do that because it's accurate, right? But no. I see the concept art, I see one of the leaks, and they give him a neck. Just like I feared. They put my boy on a keto diet. And he doesn't look accurate to what he's supposed to be. Look at it, look. He doesn't look accurate, and it's making me angry. Like, it's so easy. And before you go, oh, but Catalan, that they're just trying to follow, like, the format and everything like that. And, like, you know, all the other Sanrio Build-A-Bears probably got released like that. No, like, they can't do it. No, they can do it. Do you see the way the Snorlax Build-A-Bear looks from the Pokemon collab? When Nintendo, with Game Freak, you see the way that thing looks. And it looks accurate. Gengar looks accurate. They didn't give Gengar a whole body and a neck. That's not how Pom Pom Porter looks. That is when I stopped considering getting certain Build-A-Bears, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna take a step back because I don't like the way that this Build-A-Bear looks. Listen, and I know people were complaining online. I know some people were like, why does he have a neck? Why is he skinny? Like, that's crazy. But it didn't stop people. Like, so people still bought it and everything like that. But I was just kind of like, it doesn't look accurate. Now it just looks stupid. Now you made him look stupid. Like, I don't know. But that's just me though. That's just me being blunt. Like, he looked stupid. He looked dumb and I didn't get him. So I know people were complaining about it at the time, but still got him. But that's when I was like considering, I was like, okay, I guess I'm not getting like a lot of these Build-A-Bears unless I'm like extremely into them like I am My Melody and Kuromi. Like, from that point forward, I just decided no. And I mean, I was proven right. They released Botsmaru and like they just started releasing them like on and off, like one after the other. And then it starts becoming again less special, like more of an occasion. It's just kind of like you expect it now, and it's not like a good type of expectation, like, ooh, like now it's just, now they know the market, they know what they're dealing with and everything like that. And I think part of what made that Sanrio collaboration back in 2010 special for me was knowing that it was a limited time. I was gonna be able to get it, like I didn't have to fight off somebody's mom trying to sell this shit for like $100 on Facebook Marketplace just when it comes out. Like, I didn't have to fight prod nothing. Like, it made it special because it looked like they put a lot of thought and care into those collaborations. And while I don't mind the clothes that they've been making for these characters and everything like that, the body shapes and like the plushie just being hard and not accurate to the character anymore, it's a little bit of a turnoff. I'm not gonna lie. No, I feel like the collaborations just kind of got like soulless from that point on. Like, right? Like, it was just kind of like, you expect it, it's there, like whatever. And you know, part of me being fatigued with like collabs in general is like, this is not just an issue with Build-A-Bear, right? I feel like it's an issue overall with like fashion brands, like anything you can name of it, like any type of collector item. Like, everybody's doing a collab. Like, why is there a collab with Hello Kitty and Bruno Mars? That's random. Like, unless you're really big fan of Bruno Mars and you're really big fan of Hello Kitty, I feel like that would appeal to you. But it just feels so random and not thought out anymore. Like, it's not making sense anymore. Now it's just, yeah, throw that on there. And I think with the Hello Kitty overconsumption apocalypse began, I think, like back in like 2023, 2022, 2024, like around that range. Like, I don't think it helped anything for real. Like, I don't know. And again, this is not to say that Hello Kitty hasn't always been like miss throw it on anything and it's cute and I need it because it's Hello Kitty. Like, this is not to say that hasn't been a thing, but I think now more than ever, it's like, it's in your face and there's just no care put behind it. Like, if you're gonna make a Hello Kitty, at least make it cute. At least make it cute. So back to talking about it. Like, after that, again, Botsmaru got released and I was just like, I want Botsmaru, I like Botsmaru. But it started making me to consider what characters I really have, like, again, my bias towards. And I'm like, do I really need it, or am I just getting it just because it's Sanrio now? Like, am I really, like, do I really need it? And don't get me wrong, like, I got my cute little Botsmaru cup that holds like my pens and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, it's dusty, don't judge me. But like, I get it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but it gives me like, I feel like it started to make me be a little bit more mindful, if you get what I mean. Like, I don't know. I think it started making me a lot more mindful. So after that, then they had Pochaco and then Tuxedo Sam, and you know, Tuxedo Sam, they gave the same treatment, and I like Tuxedo Sam. That's a low-key baby to me, like Choco Cat is. Like, you know, like underrated, but you'll never forget them. Like, I like those two, and I like Tuxedo Sam, but then they gave him a neck. Why are you giving my fat penguin a neck? Like, it's just, like, they just ruined his design, and I was like, I don't want that. I don't want it.
I don't want them. Why? I don't want them.
And then they started releasing giant version. They've released a giant version of Pom Pom Purin, which he got a neck. I don't want him. They had the giant cinnamon roll. I'm still considering getting him low-key because again, I like cinnamon roll and everything like that. But I've been holding off. I've been holding off. But I do have a giant Kuromi, which I can maybe give a few complaints about. Here's giant Kuromi. This is her. I like her. She's soft. She's probably maybe the closest softness you could get to like an old Build-A-Bear. Not quite, but a little bit more soft. I like her. I don't regret getting her necessarily, but I will say the advertising does lie, right? Because her head, it could be due to its size or whatever, but then again, I think how did you get it to look like that in the advertising? How do what? Photoshop is this? Like, be stupid. Stop being stupid. But like, I'm just saying, like, her head, the stuffing's a little like she flopped down. She flopped down, and again, now this is my biggest complaint, and this is why. This is why you stuff the ears. Why are they flopping down? Why do they flop down? I want to look at her like this and not have to hold her like this in order for her to get to her to look like this. And then she just like lays flat like that. Like, it's just, it sucks. I like her. I like her a lot. See, when she looks like this, it looks a little bit better. But when you hold her, sad Kuromi. Nobody likes a sad Kuromi, bro. Like, I'm just saying, manufacturing for this stuff could be like a little bit better, especially since this was like, I had a coupon when I got it, so like for me this was like $70, but I think the original price is like $120. I think it's like $120 for this. Like, I think it could be a little bit better. After they ran through the main cast, they started releasing more obscure Sanrio characters, kind of like Rebecca Bonbon, but not like Rebecca Bonbon. So we start seeing like a My Sweet Piano and Usahana. You know, we start seeing Matcha. So like, not just like, you know, like Hello Kitty and Friends, but Hello Kitty's friends, right? Like, so I like it because I know these characters, so I start getting them. But My Sweet Piano could have looked so much more cuter. My Sweet Piano, don't get on me, don't get on me. I think of My Sweet Piano a little bit as a black girl. She got an afro, okay? Why is her afro resorted to just a line here? And why is she wide? She could have like such a big like puffy head. Like, if this was like Sanrio back in like 2010, I feel like they would have given her like a much more accurate representation or like a puffier head. Like, I feel like she deserves justice here. Like, look at her dress. Her dress is so cute. Look at her fro. Look at her fro. Her fro is flowing through the wind. Like, you know, like what happened? Why is she so like, why is it flat? Why is it just relegated to just like sewing on details and not actually taking like the extra manufacturing cost to give her like a big poofy head accurate to the cartoon and how she looks? Like, I don't know. I feel like it could be better. Like, I don't know, bro, but that's just me. All the advertisement for Usahana, I like Usahana. She's one of my favorite characters, and I think she's very underrated. So I got her, and I think her body type here is fine. I don't complain about it too much. Like, I think it's fine for what this plushie is supposed to be, and probably is more accurate. Not even probably, is more accurate than most of the releases that they've done. Again, like they had Karopi at one point, and I could get into it, but whatever. Like, I digress. But I feel like she's a little bit more accurate to this body type, and she's a lot more smaller and not so like pudged up and everything. Her ears, I feel like, could be accentuated a little bit more, like a little bit bigger, but I think she's fine for what she is. My only issue with her is her head. Why is her head not a little bit more round, a little bit more circly? Like, she looks like an oval. Like, you see how this looks? I feel like this is more accurate. But then it's like a little more wide. I don't know. I go back and forth on it. I feel like her head is a little bit more wide, and if you were like to push it in a little bit more, it would have been a bit more accurate. But that's just me. I feel like this is maybe one of the best next to Kuromi that they've done proportion wise and everything like that. Like, I feel like more time and care was put into this one. It was released last year, way before Usahana was, but this is her, and they basically followed the same thing that they did with Cinnamon Roll, which is, again, disappointing. Why does her head look like this, and why does she got a neckline? She should be squished in more. Why does she got a neckline? I don't like that. I feel like the eyes are a little bit more accurate compared to what cinema roll looks like. I feel like, do you want a comparison? I'll do a comparison. I'll take a photo. But I feel like, you know, I don't know. Maybe it could be a little bit more white. I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit more accurate to what Matcha is supposed to look like. I think she's fine. I think her body's fine. See, 3D tail. I would have liked 3D tail for cinnamon roll. I don't know. So I'm okay with Matcha. I think she's fine. Again, it's just the constant release of Sanrio characters and like literally beating a dead horse. Like, you did not have to release her like in several other Sanrio characters like all like back to back to back to back to back in the same year. Like, it just becomes an expectation at this point. And look, this isn't just relegated to like specifically like Sanrio collabs and everything like that. I feel like they're gonna run through Pokemon too at some point. Like, I don't know. And even collaborations take up like half the space in the Build-A-Bear, like in the actual shop itself. Like, half of it is like, almost majority of it is literally like collaborations from any kind. And then it's like a small section that's dedicated to their original bears. And I feel like that's a complaint that I saw this really good video. I'll try to put up the thumbnail here and like link the video down below, but they explain like why they feel like Build-A-Bear is like going like really downhill in terms of like, you know, one, its quality, and two, like just the shop itself and its branding. Like, it's not homemade. It doesn't feel homemade anymore. It feels very corporate, if you get what I mean. Like, which I'm gonna have to agree with that. Like, half of your collaborations are literally just like literal collabs, like, and then like your Build-A-Bear bears itself are just like the smallest section in the store now. Like, I feel like that's I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit whack. And this isn't Sanrio related, but again, falls in line with the whole like limited quantity kind of thing. What they did to Tails, Sonic the Hedgehog, Knuckles, and Shadow during like the Sonic movie releases and everything like that, just dropping like very small quantities. They know what they're doing. It's like, I don't know. They know exactly what they're doing. And maybe this is kind of like, I don't know if anybody else would agree with me when I say that I don't think that Build-A-Bear would have had the best survival model had COVID, maybe like they not had like a good internet presence during COVID and like switched to being online and everything like that. And had they not been doing collaborations, I don't know. That may be controversial take, but like, I don't think so. And I'm also kind of missing their original bear ideas, you know? The emo axolotl was adorable. That's an adorable idea. I have him. But like, I think it's cute, and I'm missing that whimsy and that wonder. Like, you can keep up with the times and it still be your own stuff. You don't have to resort to always like collabing with Pokemon or collabing with Sanrio or collabing with Wicked, which was like overdone. Like, you don't have to do all that. Now, I think the most recent drop for Sanrio characters has been Chiffon. I believe there's another character. Chiffon's a friend of Cinnamon Rolls next to Matcha. And then also Agretzko. I like Agretzko. I love Agretzko so much. I will make a video on her at some point, I promise. But I got her and she looked pretty accurate. I think she looks fine. I don't mind this. I really don't mind this for Agretzko. She was released on, I believe it was the Bear Cave, because she is an adult character, which, you know what? I kind of respect that. I'm not gonna lie, because Agretzko is not for little kids. Like, what is she, 25? 26, 25? Like, she big mama, no kids. Like, she that girl. So I'm actually okay with them. I was okay with this release in particular. I think this was pretty accurate. It would have been cute if she came with like a little mic, but I guess you can pick that up at any Build-A-Bear store. I think she, again, is like one of the Sanrio characters that I've seen that I'm like, this is cool. This is fine. I think she looks good. So yeah, I don't know. I don't got too much complaints about this. I wish I gave her a voice box. I would have had her singing death metal. I think I ran through pretty much all of the Sanrio Build-A-Bears that I got, which I know in quantity it may seem like a lot, but if you dumb some of them down, it's literally like a bunch of duplicates of My Melody and Kuromi, and then maybe like a couple of like the more obscure like Sanrio characters like Usahana, Matcha, and then like My Sweet Piano and Retsuko, obviously. But all this to say, like, I feel like the quality has like varied depending on like when the drop was. Like, in the beginning, obviously it was to like meet a bunch of demand and everything like that, clearly, and they were pumping these out like it was nobody's business. And I think the quality suffered. And I still think the quality kind of suffers. Like this hasn't just been like a thing from like the beginning when they started doing these newer releases, but like My Sweet Piano, I feel like they could have done a better job. I feel like the quality of Build-A-Bears in general has just gone downhill. They're not as soft. They're very hard and not as like cuddly anymore. And again, that's debatable for some people, but like I am personally finding it to be that way. And again, I don't think these collabs are feeling very special anymore. I think it's just a part of their business model now, which to some people that could be a good thing. To others, it could be a bad thing. To me, it's giving fatigue. To me, it's giving, I'm tired. And it's, again, made me a lot more mindful about the Build-A-Bears that I'm getting. Is this me saying that I'm never going to buy another Build-A-Bear again? Like, clearly not. I bought one recently, like, you know, but I feel like these complaints, I feel like they have a little bit of merit. Like, all the Reddit forums talking about has Build-A-Bear gone down in quality and whatnot. I think it has a little bit of merit. I'm not going to lie. Like, why is my Melody plush, like, pudgy like that? Like, that's insane. Like, I don't know. I just felt like that I was a little icked out. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little icked out. So again, it's made me a lot more mindful about purchasing certain things and like relegating my interests to characters that I know I really like Chiffon cool, but like I'm not very big into Chiffon. I will take matcha over Chiffon. I will take milk over Chiffon. Like, so it's made me a lot more particular about the characters that I'm getting, even though like the Sanrio rush was telling me like, because I like Sanrio, like, you know, it was telling me, ooh, like this is so cute, like I need to get it, like, you know. It's just being mindful about those things and being aware that like obviously these companies don't care about us, right, at the end of the day, and we're consumers. I think we have the right to complain, and we also need to take some initiative in the things that we are buying, because these Build-A-Bear collabs, I'm not gonna lie, they getting lazier and lazier. And once they start getting into the more obscure characters, which they have been, like, I was not expecting to get a Usahana. I was not expecting to get a Chiffon. I was not expecting to get a My Sweet Piano. Okay? Once they start doing that, that's when I start to feel like the fatigue set in. Just how I felt when I was seeing, like, you know, the Hello Kitties. And that's one thing. Oh my god, like they've been releasing, like they've been doing like holiday releases. That's another thing. Like they've been like, now instead of just Hello Kitty being released in every other color and it not being very meaningful, now they're doing it with My Melody, Kuromi, and like not My Melody. No. Yes, there is one. There's a Valentine's Day one. My Melody, Kuromi, and Pom Pom Purin and Cinnamon Roll are the biggest contenders for getting like re-releases, like Halloween and Valentine's Day releases and Christmas releases. And not to yuck anybody's yum, but to yuck your yum. Full stop. I think these releases are ugly. I think they're kind of butt ugly, especially and lazy. I don't think like the Cinnamon Roll one, him being green and having a bunch of spots on his ears. What is that doing for y'all? No offense, like, again, not to yuck somebody's yum, but to yuck your yum. But, like, I don't get it. But, you know, that's just me. Like, I just don't see anything, like, unique about it or anything that you really need to get. And some of those Hello Kitty releases, some of y'all, I feel like, are lying to yourselves and trying to convince yourselves that shit is cute. Like, the Hello Kitty, the Halloween Hello Kitty with the skull. I remember seeing some reviewer, and I liked them. But they were like, oh, it's honestly, like, so cute. No, it's not. No, it's not. Like, I feel like you're lying. Like, I really feel like you're lying. But get those brand deals, I guess. Like, I don't know. The holiday releases and the, like, now they're milking it more than ever. And, like, I just gotta ask, are y'all tired? Because I'm tired, personally. Like, I don't know. Like, are y'all good? Because I'm not good. Like, I'm just saying, like, I just think they, like, lose meaning. And I think part of what made, again, like collaborations in general, this doesn't just even have to apply to Build-A-Bear, what made collaborations so sought after and things to like look forward to was that they put like time, care, and energy into these things. And even though it was limited, they still made sure that, you know, the quantity was enough to service the people who would want it. And even if it wasn't, they would actually make a time to like re-release it and everything like that and not make the scalper market go up. I think now I'm just kind of expecting Sanrio fatigue forever. Like, part of what made it fun back in 2010 was that thrill of, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Like they haven't done this before. And literally seeing Cinnamoroll get dropped was probably the same energy that I felt like when that 2010 dropped. Like, it had been 13 years. That's a long time, right? And I'm not saying you can't release stuff in between then, but like, you know, it gives it time to rest and to be. That's another thing. I just remembered they released Gudetama too. Like, every single character in the book, they're gonna run through that, and then there's gonna be nothing left. Like, I feel like they're doing themselves low-key a disservice too. I don't know. That's just me though. Is there anything that I can say good that will come of this? And do I think that Build-A-Bear is going to change in the near future? Not really. Do I think that we are going to shift to a point where we are not buying this stuff as much anymore? Eventually, but I don't know when that's going to be. And do I think that there are any actionable steps that we can take as collectors? And like, you know, like maybe not feed into like the hype of some things and like feed into companies like digging in your pockets a little bit, right? I mean, a few. Like I said, I just get the ones that I know I am most connected to, like Usahana. Like, I used to play Hello Kitty Birthday Adventure, and she was one of my favorite mini games to play, and I thought she was a super cute character, and I liked how she made treats for her friends. Like, that was adorable. So I feel like I have a little bit of a connection to Usahana. So I got her for that reason. Like, I feel like you have to be mindful. I think it's really a matter of being mindful, because at the end of the day, we collect things, right? We enjoy these things, and we don't want to necessarily stop participating in them, right? It's just a matter of being, I think, more intentional with what you're buying. And I feel like that's all you can do. And then also, don't buy from scalpers. I feel like that's like rule number uno. Like, you just don't buy from them. Like, it's not worth it. I will always crack up with the amount of people that bought the cinnamon roll, the original one, dyed it brown only for it to like get released a few months later. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't make customs or anything, but I just knew that they were going to release it. Like, you don't have to fall for the hype every time. Or like, you don't have like paying $300 for that matcha. How did that make you feel after they re-released it and then you have $300 down the drain, negative bank account, and now can't afford your groceries? That shit's crazy. Like, I'm just saying, like, you gotta have some, again, we love to say it, you don't die of FOMO. You can't die of FOMO. You'll be fine. Like, just be mindful, be intentional with what you're getting. Even as a collector, you need to be intentional. And I have the unpopular opinion that sometimes people think that just because they're collectors that they can't like over consume or like not buy things that they know that they're not going to want later in life. Like, no, it's all about being intentional about like what you're getting and everything. So I think there's that. As far as, you know, Build-A-Bear being a little bit scummy and making you wait in a line and limited drops and stuff like that, you could also just not buy it. You don't gotta get every single release and stuff like that. When they're scummy, I don't buy something from them, and that's just the tea, right? Now, do I think that Build-A-Bear is falling into gaming territory with these companies not even letting you own your own console? Because I can feel it in my bones. Somebody would be like, oh, well, you're not still like, you still buy from Build-A-Bear, and like, you know, you think they're like a little bit whatchamacallit. Girl, you don't own your console. You don't own your Switch too. Sit down. The adults are talking. But like, anyway, at least I own my plushies. You own nothing. I feel like with these kinds of companies, you need to like, you just gotta play your cards right. You gotta play your cards right. Even with Monster High, some stuff you really gotta play your cards right. Like, if you're a doll collector and into that kind of thing, like, girl, come on. With that being said, thank you for watching this video. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. Are you a big fan of Build-A-Bear? Are you not? Do you feel any type of way about collaborations in whatever sphere that you're in? I'd love to know. But this is just me, you know, yapping a little bit about Build-A-Bear and why I feel like it's just a little bit, I feel like it's getting a little bit too much now. I feel like it's being overplayed. Like, we can only replay the song too many times before it gets stuck in our heads and then we don't like it no more. Like, you know? Okay? So, yeah. With that being said, tell somebody you love them today, because tomorrow is not promised to us. And I will see you guys in the next one.